the big game is finally here. Super Bowl Sunday is today, 6:30 p.m. tonight. I mean, guys, we all are so hyped about that. We cannot wait. These are two perfectly matched teams, two number one seeds. And I just want to jump right into it. Brian Burke, Jack Kemler, Keth Kodori, Will Kwiatkowski. I'm your host, Ben Chadwick. Guys, we got to talk about the X factors for each team and how they win. So, Brian, I'll throw it to you first. Who is your X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I'm going to say obviously it really all depends on Patrick Mahomes here. He can't get hurt pretty much again, and I feel like the Eagles really want to put pressure on him. So I'm going to say it's going to be either Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce is going to be the playmaker, which I think everybody is going to say that Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes is going to be the X factor for the Chiefs here. That's my X factors.
Jack, how about you?
I'll take Kadarius Toney. They're gonna need somebody on the wide receiver side instead of Kelce to open up, and I think that's Kadarius Toney, where Darius Slay and James Bradbury can't cover that. They can't keep up with them. So I'll take Kadarius Toney.
And I mean, Jack, the other thing with Kadarius Toney, I think he's coming right off of injury. He is listed as healthy, but I mean, are there any concerns that we should have with Toney for this game?
2-week break. He's got a lot of time to, heal up. So I think he'll be fine, especially for the Super Bowl. You're going to play with a lot of adrenaline. You're usually not coming out of the game unless it's a torn ACL like OBJ.
Kath, how about you?
Well, definitely not Kadarius Toney. There's two players who I really think are.
He's just mad he got traded.
He's just mad.
He's two players I think I'm gonna.
He's a fraud fan.
Okay, are you gonna let me speak now, Will?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Two players. One, Isaiah Pacheco. He's a really hard runner. He's gonna hit those gaping holes. Shout out the week 2 show. Yeah, he's really gonna be able to get the tempo going early, get some short passes, play action started, and then you know how Kansas City does it, stretching the field vertically. Isaiah Pacheco gonna be able to feed off of the defensive sets, reacting to that. So obviously he's gonna be a big part of it. And then the other player I was thinking was Chris Jones. Obviously the defense is not anywhere near as star-studded as the Eagles, but Chris Jones has been absolutely amazing this year. And if he gets after Jalen Hurts early, I mean, kind of rushing those throws, making him, flee out of the pocket, I think, maybe they'll have some opportunities for some turnovers and maybe try and get some, get the ball to their offense a couple more times.
And so, Kath, you brought up Isaiah Pacheco. Is there any worry, with how good this run defense for the Eagles is? Do you want to get him more involved in the pass game? Or since you have a really nice O-line with the Chiefs, really trying to establish the run game early?
Yeah, no, I think, it should be reactionary, seeing, we're playing really vertical right now. Maybe Pacheco will be able to hit some of those holes. Or maybe if they want to start the game off early with Pacheco, obviously, their O-line could support that. And maybe looking at, okay, if we get 3 yards off Pacheco, like, how are we going to go off of this? Are we going to go empty set? Andy Reid is one of the, best play callers in the NFL. So, he's definitely going to be able to see how the Eagles are going to play early and kind of judge based on that.
Well, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, my answer. I love Pacheco in this game. I mean, he came from, I think, what round did he get drafted? Was he a 7th rounder?
It was very late, yeah.
Really late. I mean, guy to Rutgers, New Jersey guys, shout out New Jersey. But I mean, he's been great this season. And I mean, he's been super hot in the playoffs. And yes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back. I believe he's healthy. He's going to be playing for tomorrow. Why wouldn't you? It's the last game of the season. Put everything on the line. But I mean, I'm going to switch it up. Go with some guys who may not, be popping in the stat sheet, but guys who really are important for this upcoming game. I'm going to shout the 2 tackles on the Chiefs. We got Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley, I believe is how you say it.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to step up. The Eagles team, the first team in history with 4 guys with 10 or more sacks. It's ridiculous. They have pressure coming from everywhere. And, I mean, that O-line unit is going to have to be really strong. We already got Creed Humphreys at center, maybe one of the best centers in the game, going against another amazing center, as we know. And, I mean, it's really important that they hold the tackles, let Mahomes maybe escape a little bit. And then moving on the defense, I'm going with another guy who's kind of underrated, really not, a starter, but Jalen Watson at corner, he's gonna be filling in for a banged up L'Jarius Sneed, and I mean he's gonna need to have a huge game, a big size disadvantage against AJ Brown, about I think 50 pounds, couple inches in height, and I mean he's gonna have to play strong. And if he can lock down that, if you lock down AJ Brown, it will be a different game than you expect. These corners have a lot coming at them. With Devontae Smith, Goddard, like even a bunch like Quez Watkins as their slot option. They have a lot coming at them, and if he can step up and have a big game, the Chiefs really should be doing a lot better than you think.
Yeah, I mean, you stole the words from my mouth with the offensive line. I really think for me on offense, obviously you got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, but that O-line has their work cut out for them. I mean, you mentioned the edge rushers, Brandon Graham, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, and Javon Hargrave on the inside, Milton Williams. I mean, these guys are all top tier. It is, in my opinion, probably the best front seven in football. Definitely the best front 4 or 5. So, I mean, yeah, the O-line has been very impressive for the Chiefs, in my opinion. Creed Humphrey, the best center in all of football. Joe Thuney and Trey Smith, one of the best guard duos. Orlando Brown having a great year, but you mentioned him, Andrew Wiley, not having the best year. He's a below average tackle right now for the Chiefs. And honestly, you could throw Brandon Graham, you could throw Hassan Reddick. Whoever is matching up with Wiley should have a very nice day. But if Andrew Wiley can step up, maybe Mahomes gets a few more seconds in the pocket each time around. And I mean, that's really when the game is in the hands of Mahomes, and we all know how that'll go. So, yeah, the O-line for me on offense at least. And then you mentioned a banged up L'Jarius Sneed, but I believe, do we have confirmation? Will he be playing in this game?
Yeah, he's the only guys. I don't even think they have anybody on the injured list. The only guy that is, I believe, is like John Ross. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, everybody's ready to go. I mean, as I said earlier, it's the last game. It's a Super Bowl. You want to play. You want to make an impact. So yeah, they're definitely banged up. No matter what, they're getting everybody on the field.
Well, then yeah, I'll talk about L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. I think they both have had really impressive years. Arguably 2 top 25 corners, top 30 corners in the league this year. And then obviously you got the duo on the other side of them, Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Once again, they have their work cut out for them, but I think it could be a really fun matchup. If one of them has an off game, I mean, Jalen Hurts will be able to take advantage of that immediately without question. If they're both on their game, it'll be in Jalen Hurts' hands to really have to make things happen, really play make for his team. So, yeah, the O-line and that cornerback duo for the Chiefs are really where it comes down to, because obviously you have the superstars who are always going to show up. Burke, I'll throw it to you again. Some X factors for the Philadelphia Eagles side of things.
Yeah, I feel like AJ Brown. I mean, he's a great wide receiver and all, but he could get doubled, or even if he does get locked up, I'm going to say Devontae Smith is going to have a big game here. People sleep on him sometimes, and he's going to be probably, if not, probably one of the main targets in this game. So I'm going to say Devontae Smith has a great game.
And so, I mean, I just brought up Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. So you have more faith in Devontae breaking them down than you do the corners of Kansas City, kind of trying to lock them up.
Yeah, and especially I compare him with Tyler Lockett. I feel like he's a really good deep ball player, and I feel like he's gonna have a lot of targets.
So, Keith, I saw your reaction to that Tyler Lockett comparison. You're not with Burke on that one?
No, I just I zoned out for a second and I heard Tyler Lockett and I was like, okay, is this just because he's a Seahawks fan or what?
All right, Jack, I'll throw it to you then for the Eagles.
I'll take it on the defensive side. I'll take TJ Edwards. A lot of the Chiefs' best players are through the middle, through Travis Kelce, runs breaking out, Isaiah Pacheco, and halfback angles from Jerick McKinnon. So TJ Edwards over the middle has got to make a lot of tackles. Don't let up these big games.
Kev?
Yeah, no, TJ Edwards definitely going to be a big impact player for the Eagles if he plays well. But I got to go right back to that front seven defensively for the Eagles. I mean, I no one can underestimate how good they've been. Well, I'll say both lines for the Eagles. Obviously, both lines are the best in the NFL. Defensive line maybe second best. I don't know, hot take. But yeah, I think getting pressure on Mahomes early. I mean, just flashback to I believe 2 years ago now, that Super Bowl against the Bucks, the Chiefs Bucks. You saw how Patrick Mahomes was running around aimlessly trying to trying to, throw as he's falling to the ground. I feel like, there's a very high chance that we might have a similar game to that where Patrick Mahomes is just being chased all around the field. And, offensively for the Eagles, that front seven is really what does the damage for them. I mean, Jalen Hurts has time in the pocket to make good decisions. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they're able to get down the field. Miles Sanders obviously having an amazing season. That's heavily been tied to the offensive line success. So, I mean, the trenches on both sides are have been dominated by the Eagles all year. And, if it happens again against the Chiefs, I think they might run away with this game early.
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna start with the defensive side of the ball. I mean, really is gonna point out whoever is covering Travis Kelce. So that could be either Marcus Epps, CJ Gardner-Johnson. It really, one of those guys, a very short secondary in height-wise. All the guys sitting around 6 foot, not much height to cover Kelce, not much strength. Very, very fast, very agile. They get around the field quick. The linebacking core isn't, a big power group. So it's going to be hard to, take down a moving truck. So whoever really on the defensive side is covering Kelce is really going to be tasked to shutting him down. In the Super Bowl, you go to your best guys. You give them all you got, and they're definitely going to be looking at Kelce a lot. And as we know, there's no way to stop them, but to try to slow them down as much as possible, that's going to be their main goal. And, flip to the offensive side, I'm going to go with a pretty traditional take on this one. I got to say Miles Sanders. There's a lot of running backs emerging. We got, Kenneth
Walker.
Sorry, yeah, no.
Gainwell?
Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott coming in the backfield, having, very, very impressive postseasons for 2 and 3 running backs. But as I said, you give it to your guys. This is time for Miles Sanders to shine. I expect him to at least pick up a touchdown. I expect him to get a bunch of yards. They're going to hand the ball off a lot. They're not going to risk it in the air. They still do have a relatively young coach, quarterback. A relatively young system. Not as much confidence as the Chiefs have coming into this game. So I expect the ball to be hammered on the ground. And why run to anybody else besides the best back on the field, Miles Sanders? So that's my pick on my X Factors.
Will, I mean, so far, the Eagles have thrown, I think, the most in the NFL on first and second down. So are they gonna, break that? Are they gonna, go against their game plan all year? I don't really see it happening.
I don't really see it happening, but the Eagles are a team where they do throw it a lot on first and second down. That's their main thing. They like to try to push it. They like to try to push it to the sticks because they know on 3rd and 4th down what they're going to do. 3rd and 4, they're really not going to get the first down. They're going for 4th down to make it manageable. Nick Sirianni, newer head coach, changing the game a little bit with the amount of times he goes for it, and it is pretty. It's pretty impressive. Sometimes you're watching the game, they're not even in opponent territory and they're going for it. So that's where the runs are definitely going to come. And Miles Sanders will have some pretty high stress moments when he's got 4th and 1, 4th and 2 on his back.
Well, do you think Sirianni was snubbed of Coach of the Year?
I don't hate it. I don't like Dable. I don't hate Dable getting it, but I think Sirianni is a better coach. But I mean, what Dable did was very impressive.
That's
So
fair.
is the Coach Bowl? Is this the Coach Bowl or is this the Kelce Bowl?
Bro, I hate that so much. I'd rather have Mahomes' brother dance on the field than the Kelce Bowl.
Well, I mean, why don't I just throw that out there? Who do we think has a better game? I mean, it's tough to gauge for a center versus a tight end, but if you had to pick, just
I would probably
go
a
guy like Chris Jones.
If Kelce is able to stop Chris Jones, then he will undoubtedly have the better game.
I definitely think Chris Jones is going to get stopped. I know he's great, but I mean, Jason
Stop?
Kelce.
I think limiting Chris Jones.
limited.
Yeah.
He's not getting a bully.
I think limiting him to 2 sacks is honestly going to be a good enough game.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa, that's a lot.
Okay.
I know
For
it's a
interior
lot.
D lineman?
Yep. Okay.
I know it's a lot, but he's had. What does he have this year? 15 sacks, 16 sacks.
He has 1 sack in 13 postseason games, whatever the stat is.
Yeah, it's he's not coming up big in postseason in terms.
He's
of
not.
stats.
He's not, as I would say, clutch.
I'll move on to my Eagles X Factors. On offense, I mentioned the cornerback duo for the Chiefs in McPherson and L'Jarius Sneed. And if they do have a great game and they do not lock down A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith, but limit, similar to Chris Jones, limit them to 60, 70, 80 yards each, maybe something like that, then the Eagles are really going to have to look to either the run game or that third wide receiver option in Quez Watkins. In my opinion, not the greatest year that he's had, but he can really take advantage of that cornerback 3 for the Chiefs. It's not the greatest, but once again, Quez isn't the greatest. But if he does come out there and have a great game, I think that could be massive for Jalen Hurts, knowing that he'll always have an open target when A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith are getting limited by those two really corners from the Chiefs. And on the defensive side for the Eagles, I'm just going to go with their D coordinator, John Gannon. I mean, just the task and the goal of trying to stop or limit Patrick Mahomes is about the tallest ask you could ever have for a defensive coordinator. You don't talk about work being cut out for him. I mean, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time when it's all said and done, and Patrick Mahomes is who you're playing against in his prime right now. He is just tearing teams apart in these playoffs. So Jonathan Gannon has a massive, massive task on the pass rush, making sure you get to the quarterback, taking care of Travis Kelce, whether it's with TJ Edwards or maybe some safeties and Blankenship and Epps, like we mentioned. But yeah, Jonathan Gannon, I think, is the biggest piece or biggest X factor, rather, for the Eagles in this game. Because if you stop Patrick Mahomes, you stop the entire Chiefs powerhouse. So, guys, we'll move on.
Oh, I got a question.
Go ahead, Jack.
So, if you think the DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown get kind of stopped, why doesn't the game open up to Dallas Goedert?
Oh, it could. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I didn't even think about that. It definitely could. The Chiefs linebackers are solid. They're not elite.
Nick Bolton's good.
They're good. Yeah, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay Jr. is pretty solid, but I don't know. I mean, Dallas Goedert definitely could have a good game. It's not like he's been a main target or he's putting up Kelce numbers by any means.
Yeah.
But I'll throw that in there then. Quez Watkins and Dallas Goedert are my two offensive X factors. So yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense. And then obviously, like Will said, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, whoever's in that run game is really going to have to step up if those corners are locked down, like I said they could be. I think we'll just move on then, just to the Super Bowl and our predictions and how each team wins. So, Brian, I'll throw it to you first. Give us some game predictions. Who do you have coming out on top tonight in the Super Bowl?
I just want to mention this before, but going into the season, I thought it's going to be an AFC Super Bowl. AFC is going to win. It's going to be the Bills. I thought it was going to be in the Super Bowl. But I'm going to say the NFC is going to win this game. And I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. But I think it is going to be a close game. The Eagles defense really needs to stop Patrick Mahomes and try to get him out of the pocket or keep him in the pocket. I mean, it's kind of weird what I mentioned, but I just say probably limit Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and limit Isaiah Pacheco, and it should be a really good game. I'll say that.
Jack?
I like the running game for the Eagles this game. I do think Miles Sanders or Boston Scott or Kenneth Gainwell, one of them goes off with Jalen Hurts, who rushes for 50 to 60 yards with a TD. And then the receiving game, you just need one of those receivers. Most likely DeVonta Smith, especially if they're going to start doubling A.J. Brown, which they kind of have to. It would open up DeVonta Smith. So I do like the Eagles going on top this game. That's my way for them to win it. Yeah.
Steph?
Yeah, first off, let me just say, Ben, we kind of expected the Eagles to be pretty good going into the season, or at least I did. I mean, obviously, we both bought tickets before the season to go to that Eagles-Cowboys game because we expected, the Eagles to be decent this year. I even stacked up Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown in fantasy because I thought they were actually going to take a step up, and it worked out just like we predicted. Their offensive line came together really well. Running game stepped up. Defensively, they just had too many stars. And I think those stars are gonna, essentially be the reason why they come out on top on Sunday. I think there's way too much talent on this Eagles team, and I feel like, someone's gonna have to step up, and they have a lot of people who could step up and take control of the game. So I think that's what's gonna do it.
Will.
You hear me?
Oh,
Will?
sorry.
There you go.
I thought you cut out. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are a very good team. They're just better. They're just gonna win. And I mean, I really think it's gonna be the run game. You know, Saket brought up that their offensive line really came together. I don't even know if it came together. I just think they carried on from what they did the year before. I mean, last year Jonathan Taylor had like a ridiculous rushing season, and like the Colts were like
Colts
number 2. So we're talking.
How did you find a way to
cook.
do it for the
Let
Colts?
me cook. All right, and the Colts are number 2 in rushing. You want to know why? Because the Eagles are number 1. Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. I mean, people are acting like they're surprised from what they're seeing. This has been on display for 2 years now, and I don't expect it being.
Oh, AJ Brown's been on display for 2 years.
I was talking about the run game.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Calm down over there, Siketh. You're in your little white room dungeon.
Oh, good one.
You're like in a. All right, so.
Yeah, just
So basically, what I'm trying to say here is, you know, the running game is going to be really important for the Eagles. And I mean, yeah, Chris Jones, but I really don't think that, you know, the Chiefs are going to be able to stop it. I don't think that they like don't have the ability. I just think that the Eagles O-line run game, it's just so talented, you know, with Hurts being able to escape. It's going to be really killer. And I think the final blow that the Chiefs are going to take, they got to watch out for those long balls. I mean, Hurts airs the ball out like amazing, very well. I mean, he's the new Russell Wilson of long balls because Russell Wilson's terrible. I mean, and they got to watch out for those deep shots. You know, the Bengals got killed on it last time. Or sorry, not the Bengals. The Niners got killed on it last time when Devontae Smith turned into prime OBJ. Yes, that was a catch. Yes, he's a man.
It was not a catch.
That was not
It
even
was a
close to
catch. It was a catch. You know, call stands. But that's how I think it's going to happen. I think the Eagles are going to win. We're not doing score predictions. yet, are we?
No score prediction.
no.
Alright.
Just winner and why you think they're winning.
All right. That's it for me.
All right. I mean, I cannot believe that I will be the only one picking the Kansas City Chiefs. This is just madness. I can't believe you
Not
guys.
madness, Benjamin.
Madness.
You all are so convinced that the Eagles are going to.
I'm not so convinced.
You
I
were
think it's
convinced
gonna
the
be a close
Cowboys
game.
are good, and look at where you are. So
I'm in a division round playoff.
yeah, with
That's
probably
good.
you know
I think that's good. We're not going to
probably
talk
one
about
of
the
the
Cowboys. We
worst-
talk about the Colts. That's the only
one
other
of the
team we're
most
going to talk about.
crippling financial
You
situations I've seen in my life. But yeah,
All right. Well, yes, but all right. The Chiefs. What else do I say? They have Patrick Mahomes. Like what else? What more convincing do you need? Like there's not much to say. I mean, it's just Patrick Mahomes on the other side with Travis Kelce, and that's all he needs. He's just running through the entire AFC right now like it's nothing. And
That's
yeah,
the AFC, though.
honestly,
The AFC. This is
That's
the
the
NFC.
AFC. The AFC is better.
and
Hurts is
I'll
better.
say it right now.
The Eagles'
I think
defense is the best
Chiefs-
defense in the league.
I think I think the Eagles are a better team than the Chiefs. They are.
Yes, we all know it. You're not convincing anybody that.
And the
It's a
Chiefs
fact.
have a better quarterback, and they're going to win the game.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
That's all it comes down
And
to.
the Eagles have a better coach.
I cannot
whoa,
wait for
whoa,
the TikTok.
Well.
whoa!
I cannot wait for the TikTok after
Wait,
the
Ben,
game.
you can't just gloss over that. You just said Sirianni's better than Andy Reid.
Oh my God.
Much better. Much better.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Andy,
You're
Andy
talented.
Don't
Yeah.
say anything. Don't say anything
He's just-
personal, Andy Reid. Just talk about his football.
that's what I was about to say.
I don't know.
I
You're
was about to
scared.
say that no, Nick Sirianni's he's a defensive and offensive mastermind. You know, Reed does nothing defensively. He's just a big
He
head
just runs the
who
best
likes
offense
to-
in the NFL. Oh,
He just does like offensive stuff.
he just goes out there and runs the best offense we might have ever
You
seen.
can
from the
teach
NFL.
Ben
That's all.
Chadwick how to
Yeah,
be a
but
good
he
coach
literally
when you
has
give-
Mahomes
when
and
you give him
Kelsey.
that lineup.
Give me Mahomes and Kelsey, and I'll be the best coach of all time.
Wasn't Sirianni
Are
like
you
supposed to be like
kidding
a
me?
Colts
Give me
head
the
coach?
Eagles roster. I'll be the best coach of all time. What are you talking about?
No, but that's the difference between me and you.
Yeah, I
You just
agree.
couldn't make it.
All right. I'll get back to it. I mean,
You don't have a
even
dog
if
in
Chris
you.
Jones doesn't have a great game, it'll be a shootout, and Mahomes wins in shootouts. I hate it because I can't give you much reasoning other than one player. But
Yeah,
like,
and
Patrick
that-
Mahomes
I
is
agree.
gonna
know
lose
that
this
the Eagles
game.
are
Chadwick, I agree. Chadwick, I agree.
You agree?
Well, not that they're gonna win, but if it's a shootout, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think it'll be. And if it's not a shootout, that means Chris Jones is having a great game. Patrick Mahomes will not get shut down. I know that's what I said. The X factor for the Eagles will be is that D coordinator, John Gannon, is going to have to try and limit him. He won't. He won't limit him. Hey, if he does somehow, that's great for him, but he just won't. Patrick Mahomes is going to have an absolute day I'm talking 4 touchdowns, maybe 400 yards. Like he is going on
Oh,
a tear.
jeez.
He is going
I
on
can't wait till
tear.
Mahomes throws 1 touchdown.
A tear
Like,
tonight.
Dude, no, he's not gonna do. All right.
He is going on a
Okay.
tear. Give
Okay,
me
Benny Chadwick.
the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll move on to our Super Bowl MVP predictions. So you guys can all pick 4 Eagles players, and I'll pick the actual right answer. So Brian, I'll send it to you first.
Oh my god.
Last year, it was a wide receiver, and I'm going to say it's a wide receiver again this year. You're going to take between A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, but I feel like Devontae Smith is going to be playing a better game. And I'm going to say Devontae Smith is going to be the Super Bowl MVP for 2023.
What?
Wow. He's got championship experience. Jack?
That might have been my pick, you know.
What?
I mean,
You guys are so fraud.
I mean,
It's unbelievable.
Jalen Hurts only showing up in this game.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, he did
Has
it in the
Jalen
national
Hurts,
championship.
not shown up to a game?
National championship?
Wasn't he hurt?
No.
I don't.
Oh, he's
I
got
don't
pulled in
think-
half?
It was also
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Oh, that was in college. Who cares?
I mean, that's the highest stage
this
he's
past
been.
year, have you seen him not show up? That was the
Yes,
question.
like against the Commanders when he threw 3 picks.
What?
Who is winning Super Bowl MVP, Jack?
You're a fraud.
Can I get skipped so I can think about it?
No, you should have
I
thought
don't
about
want
this
to,
before.
but it's
All
okay.
right, I'll take Hurts.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like Cooper Cup winning it last year, kind of a little bit of an anomaly in my opinion. I mean, we're talking about how this game's going to be a shootouts orchestrated by quarterbacks. And who do I think is going to win the game? I think the Eagles are going to win the game. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to be Super Bowl MVP. I think he's going to get it done with his legs. He's going to be able to find the right guys at the right times, and I think they're just going to come out on top. And, that's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts being the Super Bowl MVP.
Will, how about you?
Yeah, so, it comes down to guys. It comes down to greatness. It comes down to what you have inside of you. If you're really barking or if you're meowing, if you're a dog or you're a cat. It really depends about what you are on the inside, what's in your heart. And I think the one person on that football field that has a heart is not Patrick Mahomes, is not Jalen Hurts. I'm going with Jonathan Hargrave. The interior pressure from the Eagles will be important because the edge pressure is what Mahomes will be expecting. He'll be expecting guys like Sweat and Hassan Reddick to be coming down the. Why are you guys all laughing?
Will,
Because you just picked
Because
Javon Hargrave to win the Super Bowl MVP.
Will.
I think
Listen,
one MVP.
hear
I
me
think
out.
one defensive player has won the MVP.
Hear me out.
This
They're
is
gonna
Aaron
cross
Donald,
the edge.
Javon Hargrave.
He's going to have 2 sacks and the forced fumble to win the game, and people are going to vote on him.
That
Mahomes
Eagles
is
player
stepping
that
up in
that
the-
forced
Nickelodeon
fumble
award.
Tom
Like,
Brady, he
people
didn't get
are
the
voting on
MVP.
it.
What?
You think like the general public is going to vote?
When he has 2 sacks and the game-winning fumble, yes.
Will.
I don't
I've never seen someone predict a game-winning fumble.
All right, guys.
Well, I want you to not
I'm
cross
gonna
your
go with
fingers
Jake
and
Elliott.
say that again.
Jonathan Hargrave is winning the Super Bowl MVP. Am I saying
No,
something crazy here?
Is this a
Yes,
joke or something?
yes.
Like, this
You
is-
are.
You're just making a fool of us. Will.
No, I am not. Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick will be the main focus
Stop.
of the
If you are
line.
watching this Super Bowl breakdown episode, please just tune it off. Just turn
Hargrave's
it
going to
off.
take a step up. No, when Mahomes steps in the pocket, Hargrave's going to be there.
No,
All
that's
right,
great.
wait,
That's really
wait,
good.
Will, can we get an offensive MVP?
Yeah, if you
It-
had to
I
pick
would probably,
an offensive
I
guy,
would
who
be,
would it be?
I'm thinking about Jason Kelsey as a thought.
Oh, what would you?
All right, I'm gonna go with my Chiefs pick. I mean, Mahomes is definitely the easy answer. I could see Travis Kelce having a massive game, 140, 150 yards. Yeah, you know what? I'll have a little fun. Let's go Travis Kelce. I think Mahomes still has an incredible day, but Kelce has like maybe half of those yards, 40% of those yards, at least 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. Yeah, give me Travis Kelce to win the Super Bowl MVP. Will, you ready to even make actual
I was
picks?
about to say Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns, 79 yards rushing, and 13 yards receiving. He's got two catches, and Yeah, I get the script leaked. I'm sorry.
Darren
You guys are
Williams
laughing at me. You guys
ran,
don't
ran
realize
for
they
2
leaked the
TDs
script.
in that one Super Bowl, and Mahomes still got it while
Well,
throwing 2 interceptions.
this was a live reaction of Jonathan Hargrave reading the Super Bowl script.
Oh, that's great.
Because he knows he's gonna win it.
Yeah, I hope he did that. I hope. Yeah.
All right, so I think to end it off perfectly, it'll be the segment we've all been so excited for. Who even cares about football at this point? Rihanna is performing at the halftime show. Brian Burke, which Rihanna song are you most excited for?
You guys are sleeping on it, but I feel like Drake is going to pull up to the halftime show. He's flying all the way from Toronto, and first song they're going to play, I'm going to be most excited for is "Work."
That song's terrible. I'm gonna go out on a limb and tell
And
you
if I
that
play right now,
song's
will we get
overrated.
copyrighted?
It's boring. It's boring. It's a sleepable song. It's boring. I'm gonna say that's wrong. My pick isn't good. You're not
Wait,
ready.
no.
It's just not your pick, but okay, well.
I'm not.
Jack, go ahead.
I'm waiting for my pick. I'm not gonna say it yet.
Go ahead, Jack.
I think Jay-Z makes an appearance.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna take Umbrella and Run This Town.
Run This Town is incredible.
Of course, that should be the first song.
It's in the top 3.
course.
First song, I feel like first song is a whole different story. We could do that right after this if we want. But I think most excited for. So most excited for still Run This Town?
Oh, yeah. The start of that song is it's immaculate.
Kath, how about you?
He kind of took my answer. But yeah, I'm excited for Umbrella. Work. I mean, obviously, very, very, mainstream Rihanna songs, but those are the ones I'm most excited for.
Well,
The song I believe is gonna be first, and I'm most excited for, is "Ma'am." We're gonna call it "Ma'am." Better have my money. Ma'am, better have my money. Please, can I have my money? I don't know how to say it on this broadcast, but I believe it. First of all, hold up. Expert analysis. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the first song on because it's got that catchy intro. When it comes on, you're like point at the TV screen. You get you're grabbing a chip. You're like ready, right? Everybody's like leaning over, like ready, and then you hear this. You hear the start, and you like point in like a little quiver in your finger because you know like it was a good song to start off with. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Like start of the halftime show, they're gonna start playing it, and then all you and your buddies are gonna be like looking at your TV and be like, "Gonna be great." So that's what's gonna be the first song.
send
Yeah,
us your
I'm
videos
excited
of you
for
and your buddies doing that during the Super Bowl so that we could we could post them.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Anytime.
Oh man. I mean, there's so many good songs. I'm gonna
I'm a
go
big
4 or 5
Rihanna guy.
seconds. 4 or 5 seconds with Paul McCartney.
Isn't he dead?
My prediction. My
Is he
prediction.
alive? Is he alive?
Will, you went to his concert.
Oh no, that was only like 2 years ago though.
All right.
Oh, wait, that's the other Beatles
You
guy.
go- you go-
Okay,
all right,
yeah.
never mind. So Paul McCartney and Rihanna. Rihanna is out on the stage. Obviously, she's probably like halfway through at this point. And then Lady Gaga style, Paul McCartney jumps from the top of the stadium down onto the
Now he's
stage.
gonna be dead.
Nope, no rope, no bungee cord. He just lands like a superhero. And then they
Yep.
start 4 or 5 seconds. That's what happens.
Not even like a sprained ankle.
Maybe a sprained ankle.
He's got to at least stub his
I'm
toe.
so confused.
Depends on that landing form.
Maybe a trampoline at the bottom. But I
No,
mean,
I don't need
that's
that.
what's going to happen. And that's why I'm so excited for it.
I'm
right.
hyped for that too.
That was
Wait.
hell, bro.
Shaq, my question is, when you see Paul McCartney flying down from like the rope, are you gonna be like, or are you gonna be the guy like?
I don't think I do. I'm not really that type of guy. I think I'm
You
more
gotta
of
you gotta get more lean to it. You gotta get more lean to it, like you're like really surprised, maybe even like a hand in the mouth, but like no, not a hand.